All right, we got the Rlaarlo ROG-1 out today. It's their 14th scale mini basher. Has a really detailed body. Suspension feels really good. Came with a wheelie bar I installed for it. It has a 2845 brushless motor, 3600 kV with a 45 amp ESC. Came with an included 3S battery, 2200 milliamp with an XT60 connector. It's a pretty tight fit in there. You kind of have to fold down the side to get the battery in there, but it's pretty flexible. It has lights on the front. I figured it would have been controlled from the controller, but it looks like they're always on. It has a metal chassis, metal axles front and rear, sway bars front and rear. All right, out for its first run. We're on the stock pinion. It does come with an included high-speed pinion. With the high-speed pinion, it's actually rated at 60 miles an hour. We might have to swap that out and see if we could hit those speeds. But for now, let's see what it does with the stock pinion. First drive. Very peppy. Wheelie bar isn't doing too much to keep the front end from flipping all the way over. All right, hit a little windstorm last night, so got a lot of leaves and branches down. Shouldn't make too much of an issue, but let's try to get a top speed test in. Flipped over on the brakes there. This thing flies. Very touchy on the brakes. Just lightly tapped them and it flipped over. Let's see what we got. 46 miles an hour. Out of a little 14th scale, this thing's cooking. I'm a little afraid to put the high-speed pinion in. It's almost better to just kind of spin it out instead of trying hitting the brakes and just go tumbling. $45. Wonder if this thing could do a standing backflip. Kind of a slow start there. A lower punch and then it really rips a little bit later in the throttle. Nope, just tearing up the body. So you do have a knob for controlling the throttle. You can crank it down because this thing is a little crazy. 50%. You can actually drive it without it flipping over all the time. Kick it up to 100% when you want to do those speed passes. All right, see how it does in the grass? Hey, self-rights. Don't normally like doing that. Kind of hard on the drivetrain. This thing rips. A lot of fun for a little truck. All right, this thing's pretty insane. 2S battery might be a good idea for it, but it did come with the 3S, so. All right, probably gonna be even more insane than it already is, but let's throw that high-speed pinion on. See how easy this thing is to work on. All right, doing the pinion gear swap on the Rlaarlo. You got this screw here. You need to take this out, and then you can tilt the whole ESC and receiver box out of the way. But we do have the power button in the way, the cord. So we'll have to probably just cut this zip tie here. It'll probably give us enough room. So when I got the motor out, the pinion just fell off the motor. It was barely holding on there. Surprised we weren't having issues with it spinning on the shaft. Good thing I opened this up. Alright, so it came with some basic tools. Looks like a couple gaskets for the diff, and then our high-speed pinion. So let's get that on there. Alright, we got our pinion gear swapped over. Wasn't too bad to work on. It does have all hex hardware, which makes it nice. Still had to take it pretty far apart to get the motor out to change the pinion. Having the ESC and receiver box tilt up out of the way is a little bit of a gimmick, I think. Still had to take off the side panel, this gear cover. Alright, let's charge up a battery and see how crazy this thing is with the speed pinion. Alright, high speed pinion in. Let's go for the speed test. See if we can hit that 60 miles an hour they claim. It's a bold statement. She was really cruising there. That was a nice slide on the roof. Let's see what we've gotten so far. 55 miles an hour. Not quite the 60. Let's give it another shot. That was one hell of a tumble. Let's see if we broke anything. Besides the wheelie bar that got tweaked, looks to all be there. Let's see, what do we get? Only 54. Let's give it one more shot. Looks like I've knocked some body clips off. Oh, lost one altogether. Alright, probably didn't get that 60. Wearing the battery down a little bit now. 56. That was the best we've done. Still 56 miles an hour for a 1/14 scale RC. That is pretty nuts. This is a little speed demon. All right, let's see if I can walk around, maybe find a body clip or two that we lost. Can't believe I found it. This thing's been fairly tough for the high-speed crashes it's taken. This thing is nuts. All right, the Rlaarlo ROG-1 is a blast out here. It is pretty insane. Getting them over 55 miles an hour with the high-speed pinion for a 1/14 scale. That is just nuts. Very tough. The brakes are very touchy, so when you try and stop it after going 55 miles an hour, it likes to tumble. Rolling and cartwheeling at 55 miles an hour, it didn't break anything. Well, it tweaked the wheelie bar a little bit, but I can probably bend that straight. Body took most of the damage, wore through a little bit above the tailgate area. Body pins like to pop off a lot. This probably wouldn't be the best car to start out with or for a young kid. You can crank the throttle down a lot, but they'll probably figure that out pretty quick and get it cranked all the way up. Takes a fair bit of throttle control to get the 55 mile an hour, 56 mile an hour pass out of it. It does want to flip over backwards. The wheelie bar wasn't good at stopping that from happening. All right, this is a pretty fun truck. Crazy top speeds for a 1/14 scale. All right, thanks for watching.